In the northern part of the city, in an affluent neighborhood, the Blake family disappeared overnight. Early in the morning, neighbors noticed that the front door was wide open and there was no movement inside. During the police's initial sweep, they encountered a strange scene. A half-finished dinner on the table, the TV still on, and signs of a struggle throughout the house. When the SWAT team entered, they walked into what would become one of the strangest cases in the history of criminal investigations. Sounds coming from the basement, cryptic messages scrawled on the walls, bizarre electronic devices. This wasn't an ordinary kidnapping. As the SWAT team approached the house quietly, thermal cameras detected movement in the basement. At the moment the door was breached, an unexpected sound echoed. Was it a crying child or a recorded audio clip? As the team descended the stairs, they followed bloodstains on the walls. But where did this blood come from? Encrypted files found on the family's computer suggested someone had been watching them. Hidden microphones and cameras were found in every room. A basement laboratory contained strange chemical substances. Neighbors revealed the family hadn't spoken to anyone for the past 6 months, and then, behind the basement wall, a hidden room was discovered. When the SWAT team entered, they faced a shocking truth. The room was a kind of panic room, but it was empty. On the walls were dozens of photographs, not of the Blake family, but of other families living in the city. Each photo had dates and notes. As a team member inspected the room, he spotted a large metal cabinet in the corner. Inside were video recordings documenting the last 3 years of the Blake family's life. But who recorded them and why? Captain Mason skimmed through the footage. One detail stood out. In some recordings, someone outside the house was observing the inside, from different angles, as if the stalker watched from a new spot every day. At that moment, the team's radio crackled. Then a familiar voice came through. "You're searching the wrong house, gentlemen." It was the voice of James Blake, the missing father. But where was he? The tech expert immediately traced the signal. It wasn't coming from the house. It was coming from 2 kilometers away. Coordinates were locked in. An old industrial building, a second SWAT team was deployed immediately. Maintaining constant communication, both teams surrounded the building. It looked abandoned, no lights visible inside, but thermal imaging showed at least 5 people. "Alpha team, take your positions. Bravo team, prepare to breach from the rear entrance." When they entered, what they found was nothing like what they expected. The Blake family was there. But they weren't hostages. They were acting as if they belonged there. James Blake sat in front of multiple computer screens. When he saw the SWAT team, he raised his hands calmly. "Took you long enough. I knew you'd find us." The truth was shocking. The Blake family had actually been under witness protection. 5 years earlier, they had testified against a powerful organized crime group and were given new identities in this neighborhood. But the organization had finally found them. The hidden room in the basement wasn't a stalker's nest. It was an FBI-installed panic room. The photos on the walls were of gang members. The family had been monitoring them for their own safety. That night, the criminals had surrounded the house. The Blake family fled to the panic room and escaped through a secret tunnel leading to the old industrial building. The half-finished dinner was simply evidence of their rushed escape. But the real shock came next. James Blake had built a complex surveillance system inside the house, capturing the crime organization's communications. The evidence he gathered was enough to imprison the gang's leader and dozens of members. What began as a rescue mission turned into a major criminal takedown. That same night, 23 gang members were arrested. The Blake family was relocated again under new identities, with far stricter security protocols. Captain Mason's final report ended with these words: "Sometimes the darkest secrets hide behind the walls of the most ordinary homes, and sometimes missing people aren't missing at all. They're just hiding to stay alive." The half-eaten meal and overturned furniture were not signs of violence, only proof of a frantic escape. The family had left in just 47 minutes. 6 months later, the organization's leader received a life sentence. The Blakes began a new life, though the house they left behind became a whispered mystery. Anyone passing by asked the same question: how do we ever know we're truly safe? If you enjoyed this intense story and want more like it, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. See you in the next case. Together, we'll keep shining a light on the darkest corners of the truth.